Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Daniela and I'm the therapist Nomad, currently reporting from Istanbul. Today's topic is about irrational expectations in your romantic relationship. But before we start, I wanted to share with you guys that I finally opened my Patreon website. For those of you that don't know what it is, it's like a membership that you will make with me, in which I'm going to offer lots of value, specifically in the mental health field. There are different tiers that you can choose from. There's one that is just to support me, to help me get my coffee of the day so I can provide all of this content for you guys. The second tier is to get discounts in my journals and planners. It's going to also include a weekly healing packet in which you're going to have a journal prompt, an affirmation, and a mental health tip. I also have an idea of providing merch, but that's coming soon. It's still in the works. Finally, for the third tier, which is the premium one, you're going to have a live coaching session a month, plus all of the other benefits and a few more things that you'll see in my website. So don't miss this opportunity. Go check my website, subscribe to my Patreon, and subscribe to my channel if you like the mental health videos. Okay, let's get started. All of my efforts in this relationship should be celebrated and reciprocated. My partner should make daily efforts to show me love, for me to feel loved. My partner must be the one to take initiative for us to have intimate moments. My partner has to be a good judge of my emotions so they can go ahead and ask me whether I'm doing okay. If my partner complains, it means that I'm not making them happy. My partner should be able to deal with their own trauma plus mine. My partner must be an A+ communicator at all times. If my partner does not meet my love languages, it means that they don't love me. If any of these statements sound familiar to you, it means that you're watching the right video. Let me tell you what's the problem. All of the shoulds and ifs end up working as a cloud in your head that don't let you see things with objectivity, and it doesn't allow you to rationalize situations. And the worst part is that this pattern will continue to provoke conflict in your relationship, building resentment towards your partner. Now, getting to the root of your irrational thoughts is the way to go. You cannot continue to enforce these ifs and shoulds in your relationship. You cannot expect your partner to be the #1 responsible to fix this unmet needs that you're having. Now, I recommend you to use a mirror to look inside yourself and be introspective. Why are you having these needs? What are the fears or inner conflicts that are motivating this train of thought for you? One of the dangers with this pattern of thinking is that we end up using this narrative to justify why we're insecure, or even justify our childhood trauma that has been unresolved. For example, I feel unloved because my partner is unable to fulfill this for me. Or I have a low self-esteem because my partner is unable to fulfill this for me. Or I feel angry, irritable, and in a bad mood because my partner is unable to fulfill this for me. So please notice how you're not only putting all of this weight on your partner to resolve things for you so you can feel a certain way, but you're also reliving your own trauma. You continue to tell yourself that you are unloved, that you have daddy's issues, that you have mom's issues, that you have all of these issues. So you are being the biggest reassuring factor into reliving your own past trauma. I'm not saying that you don't have relationships issues. I'm not saying that your partner is not responsible for certain triggers that you have, but I want you to do your 100%. In every romantic partnership, each person has to give 100%. It's not 50, it's actually 100. So I want you to take the responsibility and accountability for your 100% of the situation, and ask yourself, are you having or are you imposing irrational expectations in your relationship that you shouldn't be doing? Are you making yourself relive over and over your own trauma and your own negative self-worth ideas? I want you to do this work for you, not for your partner, not for the relationship, but for yourself. Because at the end of the day, you are affecting yourself more than you can affect the relationship. Why? Because if this relationship ends, you're gonna bring these problems to the next relationship and to the next relationship and to the next relationship. So let's think about consequences. What happens when I have an irrational expectation from my partner? First problem is the irrational expectation happens because it's been motivated by lack of self-worth, insecurities, or past events that were traumatic for you. From that irrational expectation, you develop negative emotions if they're not met, right? So I have this expectation, my partner was unable to fulfill it, and as a result, I'm having negative emotions. From the negative emotions comes a negative reaction, a behavior. So something that you're doing to let your partner know, I'm upset because you didn't meet my expectation. And then from that, you get problems in your relationship. So this is going to be an endless cycle for you. Do you want that in your relationship? I'm sure you don't. For that reason, I'm going to give you 4 tips to break this pattern. Number 1, make a list of your irrational thoughts. I want you to grab paper and pen and write down what are your irrational expectations and thoughts. For example, do you want your partner to mind read you? Are you having unreasonable expectations, things that your partner does not have the time or means to do? Are you engaging in blaming your partner for all of the things that have happened to you that are unresolved? Are you making assumptions of what your partner is thinking or the things that they've done? Number 2, be aware of your emotional and physical responses that you have in these moments of anger when your expectations are not met. For example, I get very angry, or I get very distant from my partner, or I just go into numbness mode and I don't want to talk to anyone, I shut down. What's happening when you're having this expectations that are not met? Number 3, this is not going to be easy, but I want you to sit down with your partner to build a center of trust. I want you to tell them what are your irrational thoughts and expectations. What do you think are the triggers that make you have these irrational expectations, and why you're so frustrated with it. I want you to communicate to your partner what's really happening within you, so they are aware that you're struggling with making irrational expectations, and that's completely okay. This is actually the best time to have an open discussion with your partner. So in here you can tell them like, hey, I've always struggled with feeling unloved, and sometimes I'm expecting you to bring me flowers for me to feel loved. You're telling your partner that this is a need that you have, and this is the way that you understand love. You're telling them about your language of love. And now you can have a discussion with them about whether this is something that they can do, whether this is something that they understand and they can try to accommodate for you. Maybe you might have a need of having your partner texting you every 30 minutes, and your partner can tell you like, hey, I understand that you feel insecure if I'm not texting you every 30 minutes, but I do have to work, or I am busy, so I can accommodate trying to text you 3 times a day. Are you okay with that? And that's your time to compromise as well. That discussion, it's much more nurturing, substantial, and effective for you than having these thoughts on your own and emotions on your own. Be proactive, not reactive. Number 4, schedule check-ins with your partner. Tell them that you need some time to practice breaking out of this cycle and pattern of wanting to have these expectations, and tell them that you would like to do further check-ins to see your progress in this situation. Relationships are of 2 people. If you have a need, or if you're working towards something that includes the 2 of you, or is going to benefit the 2 of you in the long run, make your partner part of it. So don't be afraid to schedule sometimes to do little check-ins and tell them like, hey, remember that expectation about the flowers? Well, I think I have been able to compromise to only have flowers once a month, and I have also learned to feel the love that you have for me in other ways. Thank you. Or I have learned now that you're offering me love when you do the bed every morning, or when you cook for me. So I'm trying to understand other sources of making me feel loved, and I thank you for that. So engage in gratitude, check-ins, and healthy discussions with your partner. Well, this is it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you can put it into practice. If you have any questions about how to manage a particular situation, do not be afraid to leave it in the comments below, or email me directly and I'll be happy to answer. I hope you have a wonderful day.